They look like the picture-perfect couple, so happy and full of joy, so hopeful about their future. But as we all know, nothing is ever perfect, and looks can be deceiving. Now, Joseph and Natalie both say they are very much in love, but there's something Joseph does behind closed doors that has Natalie very concerned. Take a look.
Gambling?
Joseph and I got married June 12th, 2010. The wedding was everything and more than what I was hoping for. It was a perfect day. I just thought how amazing this is to be marrying the person that I love so much. I cannot see my life without Joseph. I would not want to spend a single moment without him. One night, Joseph and I went out for drinks, and when we came home, I had him try on my penis. A few days later, he had told me that he really liked the feeling and wanted to take it a little bit farther. He wanted to put on dresses. When I realized Joseph was wanting to do more than just try on panties, the first thought in my head was, why did I ever ask him to do this? It was just supposed to be a joke.
Okay, so you were very taken aback when the joke actually
Yeah.
was of interest to Joseph, correct?
Yes.
Okay, now you said that you suggested this just kind of in fun, but you had no idea that.
I thought he would laugh at me and go, are you kidding me? I'm not going to do that. Really,
You had no clue, no inkling that he would have more interest in this than.
No, I had
yeah,
no
correct.
idea. No idea.
Okay, and, but you did, and as it turns out, this was not a new interest for you. And, but you had not shared this with her at all before you got married, in any conversations at all?
I've never shared it with anybody.
All right, well, there's more to this than Natalie even realizes, true? Let's hear what's on Joseph's mind. Let's take a look.
I love everything about Natalie. She's understanding, she's caring. I can't think of a better person to spend the rest of my life with. But my whole life is a lot. I want to be a woman because it's the only way I would actually be happy with myself. It's the only way I could be myself.
I like for my chin to become so strong, cheekbones to be higher, my nose to be smaller, and my neck to be more feminine.
When I was in high school, I started putting on women's underwear. I would feel good about myself when I would first put it on. But then I would become embarrassed. As I got older, my feelings of wanting to be a woman became stronger. But that's also when I started pushing it back. Natalie suggested to me that I try on her panties. It was almost like a switch that turned on memories for me. I started wearing women's panties all the time. And maybe once or twice a week I would actually dress up. In 2009, for Halloween, I dressed up as Paris Hilton. For me, I was testing the waters, seeing how I felt being able to go outside dressed as a woman. Natalie saw that as a potential for the rest of her life, and it scared her. The woman became stronger, but that's also when I started pushing it back. Natalie suggested to me that I try on her panties. It was almost like a switch that turned on memories for me. I started wearing women's panties all the time. And maybe once or twice a week I would actually dress up. In 2009, for Halloween, I dressed up as Paris Hilton. For me, I was testing the waters, seeing how I felt being able to go outside dressed as a woman. Natalie saw that as a potential for the rest of her life, and it scared her. I just stopped wearing women's clothes, and we just never talked about it anymore. Now, the only thing that I think about is I want to be a woman, and if I do that, and if I even tell my wife that that's what I want, I think she might leave. I want to know, how can I be me without hurting everybody else back there?
Poor guy.
So, thoughts?
I don't want him to be a woman. When I met Joe, he was just, like doing very masculine things, like he raps, watches Sports Center 24/7. I mean, we talk about sports and it's not being a woman. I don't want to be with a man.
As you sit here now, is this a deal breaker for you?
If he decides permanently I want to live my life as a woman, then I could not be with him. But deep down inside, I don't feel like that's what he wants. I don't know.
I know this for people that don't deal with this or interact with it on any kind of regular basis. This can be a very sensational sort of thing. But what I want to do is have an intelligent discussion about this with dignity and respect and sensitivity to everybody's thoughts and feelings about this. But we need to be honest about it at the same time. Because whatever your feelings are, and we'll talk about what those are, she's entitled to know about those. And I don't want there to be any confusion about this, because I think it matters to you and your decision-making process here. Did you or did you not know that he had these feelings and proclivities before you married him?
Before I married him, yes.
Okay? And you married him anyway? Because you had no idea of
Because
the power or the gravity.
I thought he just wanted to wear women's panties and dress up in the bedroom. I
Hi, cousin.
didn't think he was really wanting to be a woman. I still don't think he really wants to be.
I understand. Okay, I got you. So while you were dating, before you married, you shared with her what? What did you say to her?
I mean, I told her, I was questioning my masculinity, that I wasn't sure if I was a man, but she made it very clear that that's what she wanted to be with, was a man. So, I mean, I love her, and I'm still, no matter what, I'm the person she fell in love with. The personality is me. The things I enjoy is me. Sports is me. I love women. I'm not, she's the person I want to be with. I mean,
Okay. So this, and for the viewers that have a hard time wrapping their head around this, I want to clear up some things that are pretty obvious to you, but this is not a gay thing for you. You now are in love with a woman, you are attracted to women, but you don't feel like a man. Okay, and so a lot of society would then regard you, if you did have this sex change operation, you would be living as a lesbian couple. Is how it would be looked at. So people have to kind of wrap their minds around this. I'm saying that's how this would be looked at.
Well, because he wouldn't ever get a sex change.
Well, let's talk about that. From your earliest memories, you said you did not want a penis.
when I was younger, it felt very unnecessary.
But I think that it's irrelevant if he wanted a sex change, because it's not like we could ever afford that anyway, so.
Well, this isn't really a financial issue, though. No, listen,
But that's why
seriously.
I never really thought about it, because I go, he could never live as,
Okay, but understand, one of the things that you said is that you hope that I would be able to talk with him, clear some things
Damn,
up in
what
his
would I do
mind,
if my husband
counsel him
wanted
in
to
some
be a
way,
woman?
maybe get him some resources that would get him to not want this anymore.
yes.
That's not gonna happen.
Well, I know that.
But I don't think you do know, because I'm telling you, if in fact he truly believes that he is a woman trapped in a man's body, and he has a feminized brain, where, and I can assure you, this has to do with hard wiring. This isn't a phase. This isn't something that you're going to counsel him out of. And efforts to do so would be a very painful and dangerous process for you. So we've got some questions here. Did Joseph's cross-dressing drive Natalie to cheat on him? We'll talk about that. We're going to kind of discuss how this all plays in to a marriage. I know it's hard to wrap your mind around this. Stay with me. We'll be right back.
2 weeks after Halloween, Natalie kissed another guy, and she told me the reason that she did it was because of my cross-dressing, because she wanted to be with a man. I just didn't want to lose her, and I just stopped. I didn't dress up anymore. We just didn't talk about it anymore.
I feel bad for this guy because he's sincere.
Okay,
You know?
so there has been infidelity.
I kissed a guy.
But at the same time, like,
Well,
if you
but
don't want to be a
certainly
man
Oh,
You
yeah.
thought it
and
was
your
crossing.
wife wants to be
Yes.
a man,
Oh,
I would never kiss another woman.
you know,
Well, let's be clear with what you're dealing with here. And Joseph, I want you to be as forthcoming about this with Natalie as you have been with us. You say it's your earliest memory, you said you didn't want a penis, it was just not necessary. As a child, you wore your mom's panties, you would, whatever you had access to. You experimented again in high school. You were
13 to 8, going into
You
maybe
were
9.
cross-dressing at that point. So this goes back a long way. You said wearing Natalie's undergarments really triggered some feelings in you and kind of brought all this back into the forefront.
I mean, I didn't on a daily basis think that, you know, when I was 6 years old, I didn't want my penis. But I never felt comfortable within my own skin. And it just never felt, I never felt exactly right. And most of the women that I've dated are usually strong. I'm the sensitive one. I'm the caring one. I was a stay-at-home father. I'm a nurturer. I care about people. I try not to judge other people. I just, you know.
And you ultimately bought your own panties, and that's when you wore them nonstop for a couple of months. Were you aware of that?
I knew that sometimes that he did. I didn't know it was like nonstop. I just knew that sometimes he would.
I was wearing a night to bed every night for about 2 months.
And you knew that?
I mean, yes, I did.
And you say you feel that you have a feminine body, except
You
for no
don't, my
breast and
guy.
having.
Well, actually, no. From about ribs down, I feel like, I mean, like I come in inside, I kind of go out at my hips, but then I get to my rib area and up from there up, it's very, you know, they're huge. My shoulders are big. I have bulging veins. It's just nothing feminine about that. I am completely and totally repulsed by the male body, including my own.
You say, I want people to look at me and not just see a person in drag. I want people to see a woman.
you're
not
not
a
gonna
man.
see a woman like that.
Yeah,
True.
I would like pretty.
Well, I want to bring someone else into the conversation here. Dr. Christine Milrod is a psychotherapist who specializes in gender identity, and she says she has seen many cases like Joseph before and believes that what he's going through, as I have said, is not a phase. So, Dr. Milrod, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
You've looked at everything that we've gathered on this. We take very thorough backgrounds, histories, and all. What is likely going on here?
What is likely going on is a biological lifelong condition. It cannot be disposed of as easily as the panties or the clothing. And incidentally, transgender individuals, particularly those who wish to become female, often go through what it seems that Joseph has gone through, kind of a binge purge cycle. The person accumulates the underwear, accumulates the clothing, engages in the behavior, engages in the feelings, and feels better. And then something will trigger it, and there is a retreat, there is a fear, and there's a withdrawal, and then there's actually an increase in the quote-unquote masculine, in this case, behavior, where the person will play extra football, where the person will engage more masculine behaviors and engage in more masculine activities, because the person simply has so much fear, so much shame, and above all, fear of loss, fear of losing loved ones. And in this case,
How's it going?
Joseph has
glad you
tremendous
came
fear
back.
of losing his wife.
Tell me what you're thinking right now.
I'm afraid of losing everything. I have 2 beautiful children. I have the most wonderful wife. And I I cannot imagine. I feel selfish for being here. I feel like I'm gonna put my family through unnecessary strife because of my problem.
I would be so mad
I don't want my
if
family to be hurt because
a
I'm trying
guy
to be
who wanted to be a woman
who I am.
married me and had a baby
I
with
would
me.
rather everyone be happy
Ooh,
and be miserable myself.
Lord help me.
Well, there's a high cost that comes with both sides of this, and we're gonna talk about that after the break. Now, if Joseph chooses to move forward and transition, is he right? I mean, do you lose the... All right,
I'm
today
moving
we
to a
are
different
talking about
episode
the
now.
dark side of life. We are talking about secrets, aliases, disguises. We're talking about people who are not who they seem to be. I'm talking about real life here, real deception, not the plot of some crime novel. I'm talking about people who are liars, fakers, users, who will exploit their own loved ones to get what they want. Now, we're going to meet a woman who had everyone believing that she was dying and needed a kidney, and a man who's conned people into believing he was a priest. Now, Fred Brito spent years fabricating identities and falsifying resumes to obtain top-level six-figure salary positions with widely esteemed organizations. He claims he's been a symphony conductor and even a psychiatrist. Take a look.
A lot of people have called me the great pretender, the master of deception. I think I've pulled off probably 70 cons, and they're all job related. For instance, I was executive director of development for the National Red Cross, chief development director for UCLA School of Medicine. I was the conductor of the Philharmonic. I've had to fake my way of life to survive. When I was 19, I met Paul Lynde. He was a comedian, obviously. He made Hollywood Squares what it was. He allowed me to live at his home, drive all the fancy cars, hang out with celebrities. It was an opportunity of a lifetime. And then when it was all taken away, I lost everything. It was so abrupt. It was so brutal. I had to continue living the lifestyle by
Now I'm
renting
gonna
cars. that
move
I
on to
didn't
paint
need.
some of the smaller stars. I have a couple big ones left.
I served a total of 11 years. A lot of those times.
The small ones are kinda hard to paint.
Of an auto.
How many of you are married and remember your anniversary date? Huh? I got my hand up. Your wedding is supposed to be a fairly eventful day. It's full of love, laughter, joyful memories, right? I mean, that's the whole thing. Well, my first guest, Ben, had this to say about his big day. I don't remember the date that we got married because I was so not into it. I was thinking to myself, what the bleep am I doing? Well, the wedding was just 6 months ago. And Ben's list of complaints about his new wife, Kelly, is already a mile long. Take a look.
When I look at Kelly, I feel disgusted and grossed out. I don't even go anywhere with Kelly because I don't even want anybody to see me with her. I'm embarrassed to be around Kelly because she's gained so much weight. Kelly's gained about 80 pounds. It grosses me out when I watch Kelly eat. She just kind of shovels the food in, and it's all business.
I think I've seen this one.
Her thighs are so big, she doesn't have a walk. It's not even a walk, it's a waddle. She has rolls on her. It almost looks like she has boobs in the front and boobs in the back. I hate coming home after a long day to see a beached whale on the couch. When I think about Kelly, I think, man, what have I done here? What have I done to deserve this? Why do I have this? I mean, really?
Well,
Really?
Really? Ben says Kelly pulled a bait and switch after he says she trapped him and forced him into marriage. Now, Ben says after the paperwork was signed, Kelly completely changed, and she changed for the worse. Take a look.
Before Ben and I were married, he was lots of fun.
Kelly was so easygoing and affectionate.
After we'd been together 6 years, I felt it was important to get married because I wanted to set a good example for my son.
Kelly told me that if I didn't marry her, she was going to take our son and leave.
I did not give Ben an ultimatum about marriage. Our wedding day was absolutely perfect. I was happy, he was happy.
I was walking down the aisle when we got married, and I remember thinking to myself, I didn't want to get married. It was a waste to me.
Ben and I have been married just about 6 months.
complete bait and switch on me after we've got married.
Ben's become a different person. He just seems like I can't ever make him happy.
She's become a wet mop, no personality. She doesn't laugh, she doesn't talk, she doesn't do anything. I'm completely miserable.
Ben makes me feel worthless. Ben feels that I do not provide for him sexually or emotionally. Ben has said he hates me. He may as well just rip my heart out of my chest.
Kelly wants to control and tell me how to do everything.
Dr. Phil's not gonna fix this relationship. Just get her an annulment and call it a day.
I feel like Ben has fallen in love with me.
After being married to Kelly for 2 months, I started talking to other women online. I found a lady online and I met her. I felt like we really connected. She understood me, I understood her. We had a lot of the same interests. I started thinking about my son. My fear was that Kelly was going to take my son and I was never going to get to see him again. So I completely cut off this other woman. I never spoke to her again. A few days after that, the woman that I had been talking to online showed up at our house.
When I heard the knock on the door, I just thought it was somebody selling Girl Scout cookies.
I flipped out and then I closed the door in her face. Kelly freaked out.
I was just floored. I have lost all trust with Ben.
I blame Kelly for all of this. If she'd been a wife and known how to please a man and take care of a man, I wouldn't have had to explore other possibilities.
Ben blaming me for cheating is ridiculous.
This is all her fault because she's fake. Kelly was one person when we were dating. After we got married, she's a completely different person. I did what any man would do if he was in my situation.
Okay, well, I want to ask you why you're putting up with this, but I'll get to that in a minute. In the meantime, I want to talk to him.
Okay.
You know, I think everybody does what they do for a purpose. If you say certain things, you say them because you want a certain result. I have some of your quotes. You said, when I look at her, I am totally disgusted by her. I think, this is really my wife? That's a statement of yours. What is your purpose?
She's just not the person that I married.
That wasn't what I asked you. I didn't ask you who she was or wasn't. I said, why did you say that? What was your purpose? What was your desired result when you said that? You said it to us, so you want us to know what? You want us to understand what?
How I
That she's just beneath you. She's beneath you. You're better than her.
Yeah, I've seen this
Right?
before.
So this is really my wife? Because you're better than that, right? You should have a hotter wife. You should have a better looking wife, right? And you wanted us to know that. Okay. You said she is all business when she eats. I'd probably lose a finger if I put it near her plate when she eats. What was your purpose in saying that?
Just explain how I feel about it, about her weight, about the weight gain.
You find her disgusting, right?
Sometimes, yes.
You said the Olive Garden is her favorite place. I can't go there anymore with her because it's blank disgusting to watch her eat.
Wow.
He doesn't think much of you, the way you look or behave, but he's pretty proud of the way he turned out.
Absolutely, yes he is.
He says, I hate coming home to see a beached whale on the couch eating fast food after a long day of spending my money. Charming.
It sounds about right, yeah.
Yeah. What, and I'll give you some of the statements he said about himself here in just a second, but what do you think about what he's saying about you?
It's just pure hate. Pure hate. There's no other word for it.
He says, I think marriage sucks. I would never do it again. If I get divorced, marriage is just horrible.
He just felt like we should date for the rest of our lives and raise our son together without any marriage, any commitment at all.
He says this
Like
is
I
bait and
said,
switch.
get annulled
That
and
you
call
were
it a
one
day.
way when y'all were
Get
dating, because you
annulled.
were fun,
Get an
you were
annulment.
energetic, and you liked having sex, and all of these things were going on that were positive. But then, once the courting phase was over, you said, okay, I got the fish in the boat. I don't